What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into the YouTube video. Hope you guys are well. Basically, in this video, we're going to be going over one of the student wins, one of the student testimonials of Miller, who was able to make $1,500 in a single week as his first month as an SDR caller. If you don't know what an SDR caller is, basically you are just booking in sales calls for a closer between a customer and the closer. And once that deal is made, you get a position generally around 5 to 7%. And he was able to make $1,500 in 1 week. So the proof is there. And this is someone that had no experience, went from working a trade, zero experience whatsoever, to then being able to make this and actually make more than what he was making in his trade. Now, if you want the same training that helped Miller make $1,500 in a single week, then there is a link in the description for you to book a call with the specialist to build you a step-by-step plan that you can follow and get the right guidance. Please take this seriously. Take the call from a quiet room like this. And if you can, take it from a laptop. If you don't have a laptop, then just take it from your phone, but make sure you got Zoom downloaded, okay? But I won't hold you guys for any much longer. Thank you so much and enjoy the video. Cheers. All right, Miller, thanks heaps for jumping on, bro. Thanks heaps. So 2 weeks ago, you made $1,500 in your first month as an SDR caller. Can you just run me through, bro, how you did that?
So pretty much, obviously, I had to like learn the skills first, and obviously, it's not easy. It takes a bit of time. Like obviously, for me, I was coming home from work every day, jumping on my laptop, hopping on the coaching calls. I was grinding my absolute ass off, and then after that, speaking to the coach, he thought I might be good enough for a role, so then jumped on that pretty much. I think it was. I think it was late November. I jumped on that. So I jumped on that, and then yeah, I pretty much just started calling people while I was at work, while I was at home, literally anywhere, just anyone who would fill out their details, etc. Just like outbounding leads, just anything I could do to, try and make like
Recording.
my first comms pretty much.
Mm.
And then yeah, just building up to that, just slowly, made my first comms. And then I sort of got the hang of it and I knew what I needed to do, if I did want to make money in like the role I'm in. So just qualifying leads, making sure they're like right leads, they're keen, good communication with the closer. And then, yeah, pretty much just rinsed and repeated that. And then next thing you know, I'm at, made a little bit over 2 grand as of like right now. So yeah, I think that's pretty good for only starting like 3 months ago. But
Yeah, bro,
yeah,
literally. So the time when you joined back in October, and then you
yeah,
started doing a month of training, getting on the calls, improving, and then you landed a role. What was it, like mid-November?
yeah. It was like towards the end of November, man,
Yeah,
and pretty much like the end of that was just me getting all set up
yeah.
and getting a bit of guidance and help through that.
Well, bro, that's pretty solid to get a role, in pretty much like a month and a half, and then to make your first comms 2 weeks after that. What was sort of the process, bro? Like you said, every kind of waking hour, every spare time you had. What was the motivation or the mindset that you had to make yourself do that?
Uh, it was really like, yeah, it was the money at first, and then I was like, the money's all right. Like I do make more than what I got, in my trade job, but it was just that sense of like, oh, a bit of fulfillment, really. You know what I mean? To
Mhm.
know that the skill that I have learned is working for me, and then that I can actually do it and I can actually make money off it was just like
Yeah.
eye-opening to me. I'm like, that's crazy. Like I was speaking to my mate Mitchell, who's also had like some pretty decent wins. He's like, Miller, you just made like $600 from your laptop or your phone. He's like, just sit back and think about that for a second because it's just crazy when you say it like that.
Yeah, especially like coming from a trade, where you're out there, you're in the heat, you're fucking working your ass off for, 20 to 5 or 20 to 30 bucks an hour. And then to make
Yeah,
that, especially, in an SDR role, that call can go for like 10 to, maybe 30 minutes and make $600. So pretty
yeah.
solid. So when you first started, bro, how obviously you had to invest into yourself to get the right training. What was that your thought process and what was that with that? And was there any fear behind you when you were investing in yourself and how did you overcome that, bro?
So I was like sort of different to a lot of people who jumped in and have had success. So I'm like good mates with Mitchell, who's also into it. So on a night out one time, we were at a 50th. He was there, and then pretty much like he just got talking about how he was, oh, I haven't been to work in a little bit. I've been just making money from my phone, and I'm like, what? I'm like, how is he doing that? And then I just got talking to him. And then after that, he's like, yeah, we're talking for like the whole night, just having drinks. And then next day, literally jumped on and literally got started. I'm like, literally from there, over the weekend, by Tuesday, I think, I was on board and I was like on the coaching calls. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's sort of how fast it happened. But I'd say for me, the thing that was sort of like, oh man, it was definitely like a trust thing. But I guess seeing him do it and seeing him being successful also made me think, you know what, he can do it. He's literally the same job as me, same
yeah,
age as me. I'm like, why can I not do it at the end of the
yeah.
day?
100%. The only difference between you and him and, everyone is just a time frame thing, him
Mm,
just starting earlier. So
yeah.
obviously, bro, like you had no experience at all with sales. Like you didn't have any experience with sales or
No,
anything like that
definitely
beforehand,
not.
right? So what do you feel like helped the most to get you the right experience to, actually learning the skills?
I feel like definitely the coaches is like a big one. A lot of people think they can do it themselves. They
Mm.
can do this themselves, and it's like, dude, I know, for your example, actually, you probably tried things yourself as well, and so have I. And I mean, it's hard. Like you can get there, but can take ages and ages and ages. And just
Mhm.
having someone there hold you accountable, make sure you're going down the right path, make sure you're putting in the work. And if you don't show up, they're on your ass, making sure you do show up. Not
Yeah.
even because they're like, it's going to make them money because it's like, you want this, you told us this is your goal, we're going to hold you accountable. And I feel like without that, a lot of like the success I've had so far really wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah, 100%. And well, think about it with anything. If you want to be a pro, tennis player, you learn from someone that's been successful in it. Or if you want to be a tradie, you learn from a qualified tradesman. Like it should be the same for any, success. So obviously, bro, like we set you on like a set plan for you to hit the goals and have everything laid out for you. Has that helped you a lot with, getting the results you've gotten so quickly and why?
Yeah, I reckon definitely just having that sort of like guide, in place. And obviously, if you work a bit harder, then it'll happen sooner. Like for me, it could have happened way down the track, but obviously I thought, I was like, I want to get this done. I want to, make money. I want to start reaping the rewards of, the efforts I've been putting in. And it just goes to show it's just like the more like effort you put into something, the more consistent, the more times you show up, the better off you're going to be. It's not like in the trades where it's like, you're showing up for this amount of time a day or
Mm.
this, and you get this. It's like, you show up, in your role now, and it's like you're learning more, you're experiencing more, you're making a bit of comms on the side, you're helping someone out of their situation that might have been similar to yours. And for me, I feel like that's like a really big driving factor behind it all.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, bro. And just yeah, having a laid out path and knowing what you need to do to get to the goals that you want, having everything there.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, I mean, moving forward, bro, we're coming into 2026. What avenues and things coming up have you got planned for the next couple of months, bro? Like just paint me a picture of what that looks like.
Yeah, so um gonna try and push and get on the closing team and hopefully, by mid this year I can hopefully get out of my job. That'd be awesome. But for me, it was like, I don't hate my job, but I
Mhm.
don't, I don't want to be doing it forever. I mean, you look at the people on site, and you're like, bro, why the fuck would I want to be here for another 40 years? You know what I mean? There's so much more to life than just going to work every single fucking day. But yeah, man, that was really like it for me. I was like, this year, if I can do this, if I can become a closer, if I can just make more money, and it's just like that's like really my goal. Get a bit more freedom, do a bit more traveling like with my misso, do all these things that like are so like hard in a trade where you have to
Mhm.
take time off or you have to, sacrifice your like pay to just to take some leave and go on a holiday.
No
But yeah.
flexibility at all with a trade or really with
Yeah.
any job, you know. And
Yeah.
just being on a fucking yo-yo. That was one of the reasons why I got into this. But
Mm.
yeah, bro, that pretty much wraps it up. But just to wrap everything up, what would you say to someone that's looking to get started and maybe just needs that help to just get over the line? Like, what would you say to them?
Um, all I would say is, don't think of yourself like now. Think of like what you could be, if this does work and something does happen. Don't think about, oh, what if it doesn't? Think about what if it does. Think about, you if it does in 6 months' time. What's that gonna look like?
Hmm.
What's that gonna change? And just like bite that bullet and get into it because honestly, you can't predict the future. So it's like, why predict it to be bad when it's like, you can just think good.
100%, bro. 100%. Yeah, just what, do it for your future self kind of thing and what's really going to
Yeah.
happen. But yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. Thank you so much for jumping on. And yeah.